In this session, we have a panel of experts on role-playing games to share their experiences and demo gameplay. From Fantasy Games in Waveland, we have Cord, Corey, and Zach. Fantasy Games sells card collecting and board games and regularly hosts tournaments and gameplay events. Also here today is Brandon Necaise, who hosts demos of the board card game The Red Dragon Inn at Panda's Paradise.
We are going to let you guys introduce yourself, starting off with...
My name is Zach. I've been a DM for about 10 years. I run multiple games at our store, Fantasy Games in Waveland. I'll let you guys talk more about the actual store.
My name is Corey. I'm one of the co-owners at Fantasy Games. I've been a DM and a player now on and off for about 7 years.
My name is Corey Burns. I'm one of the other co-owners for Fantasy Games as well. I'm actually still new to the D&D side of it. I've only been playing it for about 2 years and just started now DMing here this last month.
Brandon, I pretty much played mostly tabletop and kind of still new D&D stuff too. I mostly play what's called a fate core system with my friend.
Alright. We are ready to start. So, tell us a little bit about Fantasy Games. What games you have?
So we are a local game store. We host a variety of events from Magic the Gathering. We play Magic the Gathering on Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sunday nights. We host D&D sessions. We have a D&D room. You can come and play with your friends at. Just check with availability times.
We have like 6 games going right now.
Yeah.
There's games almost every night of the week.
Yeah.
A lot of bi-weekly stuff. I run a few of them.
Anything you want to add?
No, I mean, pretty much from that show, we do pretty much any type of tabletop game or RPG game. We have a variety of it at the shop to be able to play at.
And
Whatever we go with, we'll teach you with it or learn with you and play at the same time.
And we are located right here, in Waveland, right next to Bay St. Louis. So if you guys are looking for a place to come hang out and just play games, or we have Wi-Fi. Come hang out.
Right behind the Sonics, right?
Yeah,
It's the Magnolia Marketplace. It's that newer strip mall that you guys probably know is behind the Sonic.
So I got moved.
Yeah, no, you guys are expanding, which is cool. Yeah, because a lot of the Magic, as a person who has just been visiting you guys more recently, there's a wide range of games that get run. D&D is not the only RPG system in general. There's so many now. Yeah, there's games for any kind of game that you want to, any kind of story that you want to tell. Like D&D is geared more toward like high fantasy adventure kind of games. Like, did anybody see the movie recently? It's
The one person that's not on camera,
Yeah.
hand
Yeah.
up.
Right back here. Right back here.
Well, it's actually a pretty good representation of how a game of D&D shakes out because no one can stay serious.
Murder hobos!
Which is half of the fun, yeah. Which is half of the fun. And that's the thing. There's something I just wanted to say. Like, a lot of people that are newer here. One of the things I see in like online discourse a lot that I don't like is the idea that there's like a wrong way to play a tabletop game. There's really only one way, and that's if you're not having fun.
Yeah.
Like, it takes a while. My first experience playing tabletop games was terrible. Super bad. The DM was bad. It was just a bad situation all around. We left that group, and someone else started DMing, and then I started DMing, and we've been playing for 10 years now. Like, my wife and I play. We've been playing for like 5 years now. I have steady home games. I have games that we run in their store. It's just finding the table and the system that you like is half the struggle. It's a running joke that scheduling conflict is the worst enemy of tabletop games. But yeah, has anybody ever played before? Say it. Yeah.
The hardest part about playing D&D is getting together and doing it.
Yeah. Yes, especially when you're an adult. God, I wish I played D&D in high school.
Oh, right?
Man.
Yeah.
And for a lot of reasons too. Like I'm a little bit more of a nerd about D&D than most people I know, in the sense that when I say I wish I had been playing in high school, it's such a great creative outlet, and it fosters something that I don't think we see enough in the world right now, which is like empathy. Like both in playing the games, like getting a sense of like playing off of your other players. Like I really like the improv aspect of it. I try to do more of like a performative style game, but I also love crunching the numbers. So there's different games for different things. It's such a good outlet for creativity, especially as a DM. Like I run a completely homebrew world. My game world is not the game world of like the official settings. Same thing goes for most of our DMs at the store. And there's just so many different ways to do it. Like some of my friends and I are playing Cyberpunk right now, which is the like sci-fi setting. That one's more fun because it's kind of grounded in the real world. So you can make your like little pop culture references as jokes, and they're not like, wait, what are you referencing? As if you were doing D&D.
I think there's a DM for everyone too, right? Like you have those DMs that are, I call them the ones that are always trying to kill you.
Yeah.
And then you have the ones that are always on your side, like, oh yeah, you did it, like you beat it. Then you have the ones like, oh, I can't believe you.
Like I will bend over backwards to not kill you.
But are you
One time. I have killed one character in my D&D games, and it wasn't my fault.
To spin off of that, those who DM, how did you get into it?
I think for me, the first time I picked it up was because I was trying to show the game to my friends, and they didn't really have anybody to play with. And I'd only been a player, but I played enough that I knew what to do. And so I built like. It was crazy how the whole campaign started. It was just supposed to be like a trial run. Like, here, let me show you how to build a character. Okay, and this is kind of like what it goes on. Like, well, can you give us an example? And that's how the whole thing started. And that was my first DMing session. Was impromptu. It wasn't even supposed to be a session. But I found out that I really liked it, you know. And so we kept meeting back at the table every week until, you know, that's how I got into it.
I think every DM has the same answer to a degree. The answer is because no one else will. We wanted to play, no one was going to DM, so we said, I guess I'll do it.
Yeah. I'll give it a shot.
10 years later.
Brandon, how do your demos and tournaments events be like?
Well, I don't know. I demo Red Dragon Inn. We demoed out there. It's new. It's pretty good. It's like I usually go bring my board games and my Red Dragon Inn and just set up demo play with people and bits. And usually I have prizes and stuff. We'll give out prizes for wins. Try to make it fun.
So, what do any of you have any tips for people new to getting into it or those thinking about getting into it?
Yeah. So there's a great resource for like online play. Like right, if you don't have anyone nearby to play with, there's like Roll20 and they have like games you can connect with other people on. Or there's every single city that I've ever been into in the world has a local game store. Walk in. Whoever's standing there can tell you how to get into it.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways now. Like, I'm trying to think of the things I wish I knew when I started. One thing I would say is like, don't spend all your time in the like subreddits for D&D. Like, there's a lot of like bad advice that gets floated in there. But if you're really just getting started, read the book. Find the system you want to play. Like, think about what kind of story you want to run. Like, what kind of game you want to do. Because if there's a system for it, D&D. I love D&D, 5th edition specifically. It is kind of what's bad about it is what I like about it. It's very bare bones, so I can like pull apart the rules the way that I want to. But like, if you want to do a sci-fi game, don't try to do it. Unless you're doing like Spelljammer, which is specifically like a space setting, but it's not sci-fi. There's 150 different systems. There's Lancer for giant mechs. The Alien RPG is really fun for like scary sci-fi kind of settings. Find the game you want to play. Read the rule book. You don't have to read the whole thing, but like the books are usually really good at like prompting creativity out of you a lot of the time. They'll give you ideas, like how the opening of the Dungeon Master's Guide for 5th edition is essentially a government 101 class in like how different governments are structured, which is really fun. And like, don't be afraid to get stuff wrong. That's really the biggest step when you first start as a player or as a DM. Yeah, don't be afraid to make a mistake or admit that you made a mistake.
I think one of my biggest mistakes when I first started DMing was I would forget that I said something like 2 weeks ago. The players, oh man, they're going to remind you. Wait, nah, 2 weeks ago.
That's why you need note takers.
2 weeks ago, you said.
Well, actually, you said this, and I'm like, fine, whatever.
All right, roll your dice.
Yeah.
We're gonna kill you.
Yeah. Wrong small from this guy.
This one's for all of you. Okay. What are some of your favorite RPGs to play?
We've kind of been leading it. I'll let him start with this one and let him go, and we'll work our way over.
As in video games or tabletop? I guess tabletop.
Either or.
Like I said, I like the Fate Core system. It's more, less stats and more story driven. And it just, to me, it just seems a little simpler.
It has a lot of like the fiction first mechanics kind of stuff. Yeah. I haven't really played in that system yet.
Instead of like having, we got 4 dice and plus or minus dice. It's just easy. To me.
For me, if it had to be non-video game related, I'm a massive Magic guy. I'm very big into that. That's something I've spent more money into than I would ever want to admit. But it's something that's fun. It's very educational. I have a 10-year-old son that's been playing it since he was 8, and some of the words he gets to read on there is just great for him because it challenges them with reading along with doing everything else in the skills.
Yeah, like, I mean, all the arithmetic.
The math and everything with it. It's great. It's great learning.
It's like playing Math Blast.
Yeah, I didn't even realize until I was showing someone like 2 nights ago. There's algebra involved in Magic, and you're like, she's like, what is the X? I'm like, well, you have to find the X. This is how you find the X. And I was like, I'll become a teacher.
There goes coming.
You can literally break down how cards resolve X if X happens, if Y happens, and C is the result. Solve for X.
Yeah.
Also destroy all goblins.
I think my answer. So I've played Pathfinder. I've played D&D, and I've also sat at some tables that I'm not sure what I was playing. But I think for me the answer is whatever RPG I can sit down with my phone. As long as you're doing it together, you're
Yeah, for me the answer is obviously D&D. That's my favorite tabletop game. It's because I like that kind of. How do I bring it down? Our game, it kind of feels like an anime more than anything. Because like the system is built for this like heroic fantasy tropes, but we are all a bunch of goofballs who can't take anything seriously for more than 20 minutes. So it feels like an anime a lot of the time. But I'm honestly just now really branching out into new systems. I have really been enjoying Cyberpunk. I really want to try. There's a game called Blades in the Dark that has specific mechanics for doing heists. Like you'll be like on your mission and then you'll come across an obstacle like, oh, there's this door that's like protected somehow, and there's a mechanic in the game where you run a flashback of how you prepared for this encounter, and that's just a really consistent way of seeing people pluck out of Blades in the Dark and put in D&D.
Actually, I have a campaign that he's going to do with characters actually. It's the Gold Vault, and it's literally you have 12 heists that you get to go around and do. Whether it's robbing dinosaur eggs, escaping from jail, other things like that. It's very fun.
What's not fun about that sentence? We're going to play, a bunch of grown men are going to play pretend.
Can't go wrong with it. It's always imagination. It's all it's about.
It really is that time to spend like being a kid again. You know, there's so many responsibilities in life, from bills to a job. It's like you're break from all. It's really nice.
And it's almost like I've tricked my adult friends into spending time with me regularly.
I think before we break up and start some demoing, does anybody have any questions they would like to ask?
What do you think about the thieves that dodge on these hacks?
So I have a specific answer for that. A lot of the time with you're talking about evasion and uncanny dodge. It's a mechanic where certain say like if an explosion. I told him my phone was muted. Where like if you can see the fireball coming and you roll high enough to succeed, you just get 0 damage. I typically will like describe that as they cut a sick backflip into the air and avoid it, or just move them a little bit, which does get into like mechanics change. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think we're gonna start some demoing. Don't forget to stop by Fantasy Games booth and go play Red Dragon with Brandon.
So I need four people to play. One. It'll probably be at least 2 hours.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask. 'Cause if we're gonna play, I mean, D&D is a long form game. Like, yeah. I mean, I could realistically run through like the first encounter and like
I would say, if anything, it gives the ability to just sit down. We can go over the character building of what a character sheet looks like. We have pre-built characters already for everyone to play, so you can go overlook and see how that would work, and then kind of go into a opening scene and what we would do as role play for it. So that way we don't do a full event because
that's what I was curious about. Because I mean, to do the full thing, it would be. So then probably be when's the next panel? Yeah, so we're 7 Yeah, okay. So yeah, like I said, I can cut it down to an hour for people. I know you guys know. Everybody else good for an hour.
Kevin's good.
Okay. One more. Okay. So yeah, I'll go set up. I'll set up at the table. Figure it out. Jump in.
And if you guys come up with any questions later, hunt them down at Fantasy Games and go play Red Dragon Day.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.